story begins when a monster was chasing two players in an online multi-role game. As the monster tried to defeat them, a player made a grand entry. Her name was Wei, and along with her was her gaming husband, Jan. Together, they confronted the monster. Wei distracted the master while Jane attacked it from behind. Because of their teamwork, the monster was defeated in the game. As a result, the two net players were revived, and they also obtained a powerful necklace. Just then, some other gamers arrived whose eyes were set on the necklace. One of them challenged Wei to a battle by placing a bet on the necklace. If she won during the gameplay, they would have the necklace. Wei accepted the challenge, but Jen took her aside and mentioned that it had been 6 months since their wedding and expressed that he wanted to be addressed as Honey instead of Jen. He even said that since Wei studied in Beijing, and he did too, they should keep in touch. The scene then shifted to Wei in her room, chatting on the computer, and she received a request from Jane to meet in real life. Before she could respond, her computer shut down. Her roommate Archie told her that the power was out. Wei fixed the power issue caused by the apartment overload. Archie remarked that because they are engineers and computer science girls, they rarely find boyfriends as they handle all their minor tasks themselves. Due to power failure, her sudden online status had caused her a bad image. She also mentioned that Jane asked for her photos. On hearing this, Archie got excited. However, Wei clarified that she wanted to keep the game separate from real life and refused to meet. Meanwhile, she tried to turn on her laptop, but it didn't. Archie hesitantly admitted that she might have dropped her laptop yesterday, which was why it wasn't working. Wei then dragged Archie with her to get it fixed. Both of them rode a scooter. Wei stated she would fix her laptop herself by getting a new motherboard since she was in a hurry because she also had a challenge match in the evening involving the necklace. Meanwhile, Archie was disappointed that despite having so many boys in the university, he still hadn't found a boyfriend. They then noticed a notice board announcing a basketball match which brought back memories for Wei. Her senior, who was in the 4th year when she was in the 2nd year, was extremely handsome and cool. The entire campus was crazy for him, including her, so both of them planned to go an hour early to the match to reserve their seats and avoid any trouble. He was not only a basketball legend but also a genius in computer science, which was the kind of guy Wei liked. At the computer store, the campus beauty queen Jiran and her sidekick Nana suspected that someone might try to woo the store guy under the pretext of fixing her computer. When Wei arrived, she noticed the shopkeeper charging too much for a memory card. She couldn't resist and told the shopkeeper that the product didn't look as expensive as he was quoting. This led to a small argument between Wei and the shopkeeper. Meanwhile, Nana whispered to Jaren that the girl was Wei. On hearing this, Jaren intentionally bought the overpriced product. It was later revealed that there had been an online competition in the university to choose the most beautiful girl. Wei's photo had been submitted by someone, and she ended up being a runner-up. This was the reason Jaren burned with jealousy after seeing Wei. Meanwhile, Wei's crush and senior Xiao was playing a game with his uncle in a cafe. His uncle mentioned hearing that Xiao was starting a company. Xiao confirmed he was interested in launching a gaming company. His uncle offered him a gift if he could defeat him in the game. Xiao won the match, and his uncle offered his internet cafe as a gift. Xiao declined, saying he wanted to establish himself independently. Meanwhile, at the same cafe, Wei was playing the challenge match and performed well as usual. She was the only female player among the top 10 in the game. It was revealed that the number 1 player in the game was none other than Xiao. His father was an archaeologist and his mother a historian, but Xiao had chosen modern subjects like computer science. His uncle stepped aside, and from there, Xiao noticed Wei playing in the cafe. Her gaming skills impressed him to the point of instant admire and Jiren, not for her looks, but for her gameplay. After the game, Wei quietly left upon seeing Zhao, while he gazed longingly at her empty chair. As Wei returned from the cafe, it started raining. Her other roommate, Ling, who was wearing a mask and teaching a child, asked Archie to fetch the clothes from outside. While Archie refused, Wei had already brought them in. She told them that her dream was to become a game designer and design the new version of the game she played. She mentioned this so many times that Archie had memorized every word. Meanwhile, to impress Jiran, her side chick Nana started complimenting her, saying that compared to her, Wei was nothing. Jiran pretended to act nice and said Wei seemed like a good girl too. Nana replied that Jiran didn't know much about Wei, whose character was quite suspicious. Another student girl claimed to have seen Wei getting out of a luxury car, making Nana suspect that she might have trapped a rich old man. While playing a game, Wei defeated a giant red demon frog and received a pop-up notification saying her gaming husband wanted a divorce. She went to finalize the divorce and both of them shed a tear which they drank, officially ending their marriage. Jane offered her a strong weapon, but Wei, being a strong and independent woman, didn't need anything from him. Later, she was seen collecting herbs when her friend informed her that Jane was now getting married to a beautiful girl who had won many beauty contests. Meanwhile, rumors in the gaming world about Wei were that she never revealed her face despite her high rank, which led to speculations that she might be a male. Wei was shocked. Soon after, Jane's marriage was announced in the game and everyone went to attend the virtual wedding. Wei had to go to the washroom and left the game, so in the game, she stood silently on a bridge. Players thought she was heartbroken seeing Jane's second marriage and didn't respond to messages. In reality, she was struggling in the bathroom. When she returned to the game, the atmosphere had changed. She sat silently on the bridge and started selling her collected herbs. The entire crowd's attention shifted to her, and people forgot about the wedding ceremony. As she was about to leave, someone called out to her. When she turned, she saw a handsome man in a white dress standing below the bridge. He was the top player of the game. Seeing him made Wei very happy, and she rushed down to meet him. He asked how the wedding was, and she replied it was very grand. Then he asked if she wanted a more grand wedding, then she should marry him. Wei blushed and joked that it seemed like someone had hacked the #1 player's account. He then explained that he wanted to participate in the couple championship, and since she was the only female in the top 10 rankings, he proposed to her. Wei thought that she had married earlier to improve her rank, and now she should again say yes for the championship. She accepted the proposal and went with him for the ceremony. He requested at least 3 days to prepare for a grand wedding. In real life, Xiao was the top player in the game, and he appeared very happy. One of his roommates came and said their fate had turned as the campus beauty queen had contacted them to fix her computer. Another friend guessed that it was just a way to meet Xiao. But Xiao responded that his wedding just got fixed in the game, and it was not appropriate for him to meet girls under the pretext of fixing computers. His friends then became curious to know who the lucky girl was. Meanwhile, when Wei opened her laptop again, she saw a bunch of boys surrounding her character. At that moment, Xiao introduced her as part of his team, which consisted of his roommates. Together, they played a game against monsters. The boys were impressed by her skills. After the match, one player complimented her, and Xiao thanked him on her behalf. His friends were shocked and suspected something serious. Xiao announced his wedding would be in 2 days. His friends reminded him he had other plans that day too, and Wei also told him that if it's an important day, they should postpone the wedding. But Xiao mentioned that he will marry on that day because it was going to be a very auspicious day. On the day of the wedding, Wei sat in class feeling happy. Archie reminded her about the Basketball Legends match they had to attend. Wei, being excited about her gaming wedding, wanted to refuse, but her roommate insisted. Eventually she agreed. Meanwhile, Xiao was getting ready for a conference, and Wei, with all her friends, went 3 hours early to the basketball court to reserve seats. But the court was already packed with fans of Xiao. Ling's boyfriend, who was also a basketball player, heard that Xiao might not play that day because he was busy with someone. The girls were disappointed. When the match was about to start, a boy came and wanted to talk to Wei, but she politely declined the invitation to go out from a player. She was used to rejecting boys. The match began, and everyone enjoyed themselves and took photos. Meanwhile, the presentation went surprisingly well for Xiao, and the investors found his ideas quite impressive. One of them, from Gutskin Upper Company, even decided to arrange a formal meeting with him, probably thinking he might just be the Steve Jobs in disguise. Later that night, both leads were preparing for their wedding in a rush, typing furiously on their computers as if racing against a bomb countdown. They invited way too many guests. Wei worried aloud that this wedding might burn a hole in her savings. But Xiao sponsored everything and even gave her a powerful weapon as a gift. At first, Wei refused it out of politeness, but Xiao insisted, saying they'd need it for the championship and finally got married. More than 9 of his friends looked so emotionally invested that it almost felt like they were the bride's side in real life. The couple walked down the virtual aisle surrounded by fellow gamers, but instead of blessings, they thought Xiao was making a mistake by marrying someone whose marriage is just broken and told him to marry Jojo. Wei asked Xiao if he had ever played with Jojo. Xiao admitted that during one mission, someone from their team had invited Jojo, but he didn't like his gaming style at all and kicked her out right away. After the wedding ceremony ended, it was time for the wedding night, which, in the gaming world, meant opening a private chat window instead of a cozy room. They went on a romantic hot air balloon ride, collected herbs like a honeymooning botanist couple, and listened to someone play an instrument. Xiao plucked a flower and handed it to the new bride. Just then, an announcement confirmed that their couple's quest was complete. Zhao, watching from behind his screen, smiled like he just unlocked true love with a cheat code. The next day, they stumbled upon a forum post that featured a girl's blurred face, along with some very inappropriate comments. Wei immediately recognized it was her photo. That day, a student's mom had dropped her off, and she'd seen a group gossiping about the same post in the library. Xiao realized it too, that it was Wei, because she had the same bag at the internet cafe that day. Later, Wei was sitting in her room, clearly disturbed, but using her computer science wizardry, she tracked the IP address and found the culprit, the department topper of foreign languages. She marched to his room to teach him a lesson about judging people. She explained that she wasn't doing anything shady, but had gone to tutor a kid, and it was the student's mom who dropped her off in that flashy car. The guy named Sam didn't acknowledge his mistake and tried to walk away, but she blocked his exit and handed over a paper containing proof, address, and photo of the student with the car. That night, she entered the game and found herself near a temple, where she discovered Zhao had imprisoned the red-hand gamer who mocked Wei. She struck him lightly with her weapon, confused about why he wasn't logging out. Jiao casually said he'd trapped the player in such a way that every time he logs in, he appears in chains. She grinned with satisfaction. Just then, they got a call, and both had to leave, so they put the game on auto mode. In the background, the game kept running, and Jojo, along with his friends, saw their friend, the red-haired gamer, locked up. Unable to defeat the couple in-game, they decided to spread rumors instead, accusing the guy of torturing a weak player. Wei entered the game, and hearing this nonsense, she lost her cool and told them to leave. At that very moment, Zhao also came back online and overheard everything. The red-hammed guy also reappeared after a refreshing shower and dismissed the girls, saying he'd handle it from here. Xiao then turned toward her and asked if she wanted him to strip the guy too, just in case she wasn't satisfied with the punishment. Wei scoffed and said she didn't want to waste her time or electricity on such people. Meanwhile, those girls ran to Jojo and her in-game husband to complain about what happened at the temple. But Jojo wasn't interested in their drama, as she needed to maintain good relations with Wei for the upcoming championship. She suggested instead of trying to beat them in-game, they should participate in the video competition. They could turn their couple's love story into a video and win the rainbow couple costumes if they got enough votes. Meanwhile, Jiran was very upset because despite their efforts, all they got was a technician friend sent to repair their computer and not Xiao. After finishing, Qiaoran asked why Xiao didn't come himself. The guy just shrugged it off. But Qiaoran got nervous and complained to Nana, saying everyone must have figured out she liked Xiao. Nana comforted her, saying maybe Xiao was just busy. After all, who could ignore such a pretty face? They made plans to go for dinner with Jiran's wealthy cousin, who shockingly turned out to be Wei's ex-husband in the gaming world. When he saw Jiran all dolled up, he instantly guessed she was into someone but couldn't approach him. Nana confirmed it, saying the guy was from the computer science department and his name was Xiao. Jane revealed he already knew Xiao and said that his friends had started a small gaming company called GG. His grandfather wanted to buy it since the students were desperate and the company was cheap. Hearing this, Nana and Jiran came up with a brilliant villain-style plan and told him that he should hire her as his father's assistant, and this way she can be close to Xiao. Zhang also agreed to her plan. Meanwhile, Archie, Wei, and her friends were also selected for the interview in Jane's company. The next day, Zhao came to the office, but when Jiran tried to serve him tea, she showed zero reaction, barely even looking up. Jiran felt completely ignored and her mood turned sour. Meanwhile, in the lobby, Wei and her friends arrived for an interview. Archie was dressed a bit glamorously, so her friends stayed a bit behind. Archie asked around about the interview questions and found out they were mostly about gaming. They were even asking for usernames of famous games to test performance. Since her team didn't play those games, Wei gave them her different account that she sometimes uses to play games. Meanwhile, mentioning Jiran, the investor said she studied at the same university. Xiao casually responded that he never saw her before, which must be some kind of underground legend. The investor tried to buy Xiao's game, but he said he would think so and he left. When he came outside, his friend declared those people were mean, offering peanuts for their game and planning to exploit their work. Xiao, while smiling, said that he already knew what they were trying to do, so now he'd beat them at their own game. Later, Wei helped her friends prepare for the interview by reminding them of her usernames. First to be interviewed was Archie. She froze seeing Jaron and accidentally gave Wei's username instead of her own. Jane, now thinking that Archie was Wei, smiles at her, so she realized her mistake, rushed out and confessed it. But Wei, being kind as ever, brushed it off and even offered one of his lesser-used usernames to comfort her. A little while later, Xiao was seen passing by. His friend said that Wei is the most beautiful girl from their department. Xiao just muttered that the beauty queen was impressive and walked off. In the next scene, after the interview, Wei took Sam to meet the student, but the student clearly expressed that he didn't like Sam at all and said straight out that he didn't want to study under him. On hearing this, Sam felt slightly embarrassed. Later, after teaching, when Wei was about to leave, the boy came closer and asked her whether that guy was her boyfriend. Wei told him that he is just her classmate. On hearing her reply, the boy felt relieved. Then the girl told him that if he didn't like that person, and if someday the guy ever got interested in her and proposed, she would reject him without hesitation. The student, in his mind, had already created a favorite image of what her boyfriend should be like, and then pulled out a photo of Xiao and said her boyfriend should look exactly like him. She explained to him that this boy was a legend in her university and far beyond her reach, someone she could only admire from afar. But the boy insisted that she was no less legendary herself, and she truly deserves someone like that. After tutoring, Sam apologized to Wei and offered friendship, and also informed her that he had deleted the post he made earlier. She forgave him and told him to remember her kindly. Wei told Sam about the student who got into a car accident and lost his father as well as his legs, and soon he was also addicted to gaming. His mother had hired Wei to help him control his gaming addiction. Wei was a very responsible girl, and by becoming friends with the student, she had completely won his heart. Wei wanted to become a game designer, and Sam, too, was interested in the same field, just like her. Listening to Wei's words and noticing her unique personality, Sam started getting impressed by her, and gradually, it felt like he was beginning to take a romantic interest in her. When Wei returned to her dorm, she saw Archie was practicing her gaming skills to improve herself. Wei logged into her computer and saw that Jojo had made a video based on his romantic story and had shared some tricks. Curiously, she went on to watch the video where Jojo and Jane were surrounded by enemies, but those enemies were actually his own friends playing villains. Amidst the fight, they performed a special move and knocked down all the enemies using his golden aura strike. Then the scene shifted to a forest where a girl came in acting dramatically like she walked out from a bad soap opera. Her whole appearance gave off loser vibes, as if she said that Xiao had ditched her and that Jian chose Jojo over her. Jane misunderstood Archie as Wei because of the username, and when Archie attacked Jojo, she tripped and fell down helplessly on the ground. Watching this childish behavior and cheap overacting, Wei's mood turned sour. Before she could say anything, Xiao's friends started defending her, saying that Jin and Jojo could never stoop so low. When Xiao learns about this, he immediately runs towards the hostel. His friends quickly start cleaning up the room. As soon as Xiao arrives and one of his friends tells him everything and urges him to take revenge, Xiao says that he will definitely do it, but in a very different way. Next day, Wei went jogging, where Sam joined her and invited her for dinner. As expected, she refused. He asked if she had a boyfriend and she replied that she didn't have one and didn't even wish to have one. Saying this, she walked away. A little later, Xiao appeared on the same jogging track, and seeing him, she froze in place. For a moment, their eyes met, and she became so nervous that she ran off in the wrong direction. Meanwhile, Archie quietly sneaked into her class to avoid being late. But when she reached her seat, she found someone already sitting there. It was Sam. Both of them started bickering over the seat, drawing the professor's attention, so she quietly moved to the next seat, but that seat was broken. She tried sitting, but kept sliding down repeatedly. In frustration, she picked up the chair and broke it completely, thinking at least the sliding would stop. Sam mocked her, saying earlier she was sliding off the seat and now she looked like a monkey perched on a stick. Archie got furious on hearing that and kicked Sam, knocking him down, and both of them began fighting in front of the whole class. The teacher silenced them and told them to sit down. Later, during the game, Wei saw that Xiao had challenged Jane for the competition. She went to the battle area and learned that Zhao had challenged Jane with such memorable terms that rejecting the challenge would have ruined his reputation in the gaming world. Jane had no option but to accept the challenge in order to protect his honor. The game began, and after some fighting, as expected, Jane lost badly. Some people tried to accuse Xiao of cheating, but he had followed all the terms and conditions of the challenge. After losing the challenge, according to the rules, Jin had to drop 2 levels, which meant he would need about 2 months to recover the damage. After the game ended, Zhao's friends asked him what he would have finished if the power had gone out or if he had lost the match due to some other issue. They even mentioned that if he hadn't done that, they were ready to hack the rival's computer and delete his account. While everyone was still buzzing over Zhao's victory, Zhao pulled Wei aside and told her that although it was a personal issue, he had to step in because the situation had gotten too hot to handle. The next day, Wei was sitting with blank eyes, daydreaming about Xiao. She even drew a sketch in her notebook, imagining what he must look like, although she seemed a bit confused about his face. Later, she packed up her things and started to leave. On the other hand, Zhao was also seen remembering Wei from the jogging track. Meanwhile, Sam looked up her class schedule and started checking her timetable. Sometimes he searched for her in the library, sometimes near her hostel, but Wei didn't show any interest in him. Meanwhile, Archie was angry at Sam from the classroom incident. At that moment, Archie was looking out of the window when she saw Zhao passing by, and Wei too quickly went to the balcony to see him. One of the girls tried giving Zhao a love letter, but he walked past her in a very cool and composed manner, ignoring her completely. Watching this, Wei understood how she can shake Sam off effortlessly. The next day, Wei came to Sam and said that she likes Xiao, so he had to stop. Nana listened to all this and talked bad about Wei. But Sam shut her, and he was not someone who would give up so easily. He thought that in order to win her heart, he needed to find out what Wei was interested in and try to become like that. He even told one of his classmates to find Wei's gaming ID, offering a bribe in exchange. Then one day, Sam and Zhao came face to face on the basketball court. Seeing Zhao, Sam threw a challenge at him. Their match started, and as everyone already knew that Zhao was a basketball legend, he easily defeated Sam in the game. While leaving, a friend commented that it looked like Sam was interested in Wei and was probably playing against the computer science group just to impress her. Hearing this, Zhao stopped and then challenged Sam for another match. They played again, but this time Zhao didn't even let Sam touch the ball, and he completely defeated him. Meanwhile, Wei was playing a game with Xiao's friends. After playing, they began discussing how they should also consider making a video for the video competition. Wei gave the idea of a Romeo and Juliet themed story. Said the story would be very peaceful. A musician meets a bandit girl in a valley who kidnaps him but takes great care of him. He slowly falls in love with her. The girl will reveal that she was born in a family of bandits and since childhood was trained only to cheat and steal, but now she desires to live a peaceful life. The musician wasn't happy after hearing her truth. So the bandit queen quietly left him for his own safety but secretly kept following him. One day, a demon attacked the musician and she fought back to protect him. She managed to save him but got seriously injured in the process. The musician then realized her true love. When a group of men attacked their village and tried to capture the bandit queen, she fought them and killed them all. But then the musician himself stepped forward and killed the bandit queen because those men were his own people, and he had come there pretending to be someone else. He didn't want her to spend her entire life in guilt after knowing his truth. He believed that death would be easier than such a life. After telling this story, she added that the musician should jump off a cliff because he wouldn't be able to live without her. Xiao liked this story and agreed to shoot this. The next day, they all started shooting their video. During the shoot, they kept teasing each other over the dialogues and making jokes. They told Wei that they all are friends. She asked how all 4 of them lived together, and they explained that they were roommates. But Xiao had recently started living at home and barely came to the dorm anymore. He was now playing games online from his house. Wei was surprised to know that they wore the same socks for an entire week. And they casually said that computer science students were like that. Then Wei mentioned that she was also a computer science student. Hearing this, the boys wondered whether the amazing gamer could actually be a boy pretending to be a girl. Because girls were quite rare in computer science and whoever was playing had exceptional gaming skills. But Xiao already knew who Wei was, so nothing about him surprised her. Then one day, during another game session, Archie requested Wei to play on her behalf, so Wei began completing her game. Around the same time, someone came into their room and secretly watched her username. That person didn't know the account belonged to Archie, and she later told Sam about that username. Now, it's probably obvious where this story was going. In the company, Jiran instructed his secretary to remove the university's girl's name from the intern list, because he had already found out that Wei liked Zhao. Meanwhile, Zhao was spending time at home with his parents, and they were playing a Go match. His father told Zhao that he felt game designing was a waste of time. But Zhao was passionate about it, and he managed to convince him. His father was kind and even apologized for thinking like that. Zhao said that game designing might not be his final goal, but for now that was his plan. His father is a professor, and the archaeology professor's class usually had poor attendance, so Xiao said he would attend his elective class the following week. That way, the professor's attendance would improve. But the actual reason was that Xiao had checked the timetable and found out that Wei had opted for archaeology electives. On the day of the lecture, Wei sat in class. Very few students were present because the professor's lectures were famously boring. Suddenly, someone asked to sit next to her. When she looked, it was Xiao. He sat next to her and people around started clicking their photos. Wei felt so awkward that he even wished he could disappear. Soon the news of Zhao attending class spread like wildfire. Within minutes, the lecture hall was houseful. When the professor walked in, he was stunned to see the crowd and asked if they were really there to attend his class. Everyone answered with a loud, "Yes, sir." Later that night, Wei was sitting in the library till late. Most students had already left. She then went to watch the final version of the gaming video, which was now ready. While she watched it, Xiao stood silently behind a bookshelf, observing her. The emotional scene in the video touched her deeply, and she became sentimental. The ending was changed. Instead of the musician dying by suicide, the video showed him living the rest of his life alone, remembering his wife. Wei got emotional watching her reaction, and his eyes filled with tears. She was relieved no one saw her crying over a video, or it would have been extremely embarrassing. But actually, Zhao had already seen her. Later, she messaged Zhao, asking why he changed the ending. He replied that the ending she suggested was nice, but he wanted to extend the video length, so he added a flashback. They had researched and found that videos longer than 30 minutes had twice the chances of winning. After that, Zhao quietly picked up his laptop and moved it aside so that he wouldn't come into her view. Then, after posting the video publicly, they all began discussing the comments coming in on their video. Now Zhao was sitting at another corner of the library and was secretly watching her, while Wei was feeling extremely nervous. Seeing the library empty, she got scared and felt anxious that she was all alone there. She told Xiao that and tried to leave, but Xiao stopped her and assured her that obviously someone else would be there too, in the library. Just then, a random person actually walked past, and she became surprised how Xiao knew that. After she left the library, Zhao quietly followed her from behind. When she returned to the dorm, Archie was still practicing gaming, but her improvement was very slow. She was playing at beginner level. While roaming around, she noticed a player was getting beaten up, and that player turned out to be Sam. Archie stepped in like a hero to help her, but she got hit by those villains. Eventually, as expected, Wei came and beat up those villains, chasing them away. Sam became very impressed and requested her to become his gaming mentee because she still thinks that this NC belongs to Wei. Since Wei's mobile phone broke a few days ago, he had been using Ling's phone. On her phone, she checked their video and noticed that their video was leading by a huge margin. Ling advised her to buy a new phone soon, but Wei replied that she didn't even have enough money right now. Later, when she came online again from the dorm, she saw a message. Someone was telling him that if she removed their video from the competition, then in return, he would be offered a decent amount of money. Wei quickly figured out who else it could possibly be. The message further conveyed that Jane's wife, Jojo, really liked the rainbow costume that was the prize, and Jane wanted to win it for her, because they both are dating in real life. After a little more chatting, Wei played some games with his team. After those games ended, the system announced that Wei's video had won the contest. The prize turned out to be the rainbow couple costume. When Xiao showed up in the costume, he didn't like it and wore his old outfit. His friends teased him for not wearing matching clothes with his wife. So Xiao replied that their love didn't need to be proven through such show-offs. Wei really liked hearing that kind of thing from him. Later, while lying in bed, she started thinking that if Xiao, like Zhang, asked her for a photo, then what would she do? She decided that she would definitely show her photo to Xiao. But it wasn't necessary because in real life he had already seen her secretly many times. Then she started thinking that if in the future she stopped playing games, her contact with him would also end. That thought made her quite upset. Over there in the dorm, all the boys got busy with cleaning because Zhao was about to come. Zhao, in fact, was the youngest among them all, but due to his maturity and cleanliness, everyone started listening to him, and he began ordering his seniors around. At that time, one of his friends, Kai, received a call. It was from Jane's company. The manager from the company actually gave him a private invitation to meet. Their aim was to create tension between Zhao's company. Kai thought he would reject them clearly, but Xiao stopped him and said that they would benefit from this opportunity. She seemed to have some plan in mind. Then they all went to the cafe for lunch. As soon as they entered, the people inside reacted as if some prince had descended from the sky. A crowd gathered and everyone started taking photos on their mobiles, while Wei pretended to act normal. But deep down she was very happy to see Xiao, and she also said that today she would eat whatever dish he ordered. At that moment, Archie secretly tried to click their photo, but just in time Xiao looked her way, so she pretended to take a selfie instead. Then luckily, Wei and Xiao arrived at the same time. Coincidentally, both of them ordered the same dish, but the chef said only one serving was left. Showing gentlemanlike behavior, Xiao ordered something else instead. But now even Wei didn't want that dish anymore. At that moment, Xiao's friend Musa came forward and the chef served him extra and even better food. There was something different in the way the chef looked at him. While eating, the friends asked Xiao why they came to such a distant cafe. Of course, Xiao came here because he knew that Wei always ate there. At night, Wei registered herself for the couple championship. She was quite happy to see that the championship matches didn't clash with her exams. Meanwhile, Xiao's dorm showed that Kai and Musa also wanted to enter the couple championship together. But they got into an argument about who among them would be the male and who would be the female. The argument escalated into a real battle. Xiao and Wei simply stood nearby, like spectators, and enjoyed the entire scene. After that, both the NC characters ended up killing each other. Following their game, Wei and Xiao decided to attempt clearing the last level in the couple contest. No one till now ever completed that level. The last level was designed such that Wei got locked in a dark place and was expected to find his way out within 16 hours. She informed Xiao that the place where she was trapped was extremely dark, but he could hear the sound of water in the distance. Xiao kept trying and finally spotted some water. He thought maybe he could solve the puzzle from there. Meanwhile, while exploring in the game, Xiao encountered a character who could help him search for Wei. But first, he was told to set a go board. He set it up so perfectly that the man almost wanted to thank him personally. Then the character gave him a root pendant to pass on to one of his students. Afterwards, he had to cross one last obstacle. For a few seconds, a guide also appeared to help him ahead. As he proceeded, he had to face some stone dragons who attacked him with red spring. Xiao used his powers to defeat them. Then a message appears on the screen saying he would lose all his progress in the game and would have to start from level 1 again if he fails this stage. So now the fight between Xiao and his opponent began. In the middle of the fight, the opponent noticed the pendant given by his teacher, which was now with Xiao. Seeing this, the opponent stopped fighting, revealed the truth about Wei, and even sent 2 dragon-like lovebirds to help. That completed the mission. They became the first couple to ever clear that level. On reaching there, Xiao called Wei his dear wife, which made her feel all warm and fuzzy like a puppy seeing its owner after a week. After completing the mission, they received lots of points and gifts. They returned, and Xiao shared all the details about their mission. He also mentioned he managed to take a screenshot when a brief guide appeared, which made completing the mission easier. Wei, as expected, was once again impressed by his smartness. Still, she shared that she was part of a guild, where she had a fight with someone in the group, which led to her quitting the team. Xiao felt glad that now she belonged only to his team. While all these things were happening, Wei, sitting in her room, kept smiling. Her friend thought that judging by her smile, she was clearly in love. Meanwhile, Kai was once again approached by Jane's company. They promised him an apartment and a car, but Kai rejected it, saying he was too settled in his own project to consider this offer. After hearing his reaction, the man called the CEO and asked him to wait 2 more days, then offer Kai an even bigger deal. Jira overheard her uncle's entire planning. Concerned for Xiao, she went to his dorm to tell everything, but when she saw Xiao approaching, she lost the courage to speak and silently walked away. She told everything to her sidekick Nana and asked for advice. Nana, in true dramatic advisor style, convinced her that her uncle was doing the right thing and that joining his company was essential. This way, she could become close to Xiao and break his team from the inside. Just to stir the pot a little more, Nana showed her a picture of Wei sitting with Xiao in class. This, unsurprisingly, made Jiron burn with jealousy again. Meanwhile, all the boys were busy planning for their future. They were thinking about renting an office and were very excited. While checking out the office setup plan, Musa said that they would hire a beautiful receptionist for the new office. Then, they revealed their strategy. In reality, Xiao never wanted to join Jane's company. His actual plan was to make a bigger company that's hiring developers to design a new game. He just wanted to distract Jane's company so they wouldn't see him as a competitor. His team was happy with his planning and said that by following his strategies, all their problems would become easy. Meanwhile, Wei was tutoring the student who perfectly finished his homework. According to a deal, he wanted to see Wei play the game, so Wei played in front of him and showed he even had a team. The boy enjoyed watching her. After a while, he asked for permission to play by himself and Wei allowed him. Then, in group chat, Wei saw that another girl accused her of stealing prey in the game. Now, Zhao's team provided proof that she was innocent and turned the accusations back on the accuser. They had used fake accounts and proper planning for this. Wei was blushing when suddenly her student saw the sketch made from imagination, which surprised him. The boy noticed that whenever Xiao or the game character main NC was mentioned, her eyes sparkled in the same way. Wei clarified that Xiao was just her professional role model, while NC was only an online good friend. At night, all of them began preparing for the next couple championships. Coincidentally, their first match was against Jan and Jojo. Surprisingly, Jane left the match midway with his wife Jojo, perhaps remembering their previous experience. So the points went to our couple. In the second round, our dream team had another match. The boy from the couple was Wei's gaming friend Bunty, and the girl was his good friend Meng. Naturally, the best couple won the match easily. After the match, Meng chatted with Wei and asked her to rejoin the guild he left after a fight. Wei refused, saying exams were coming up and he was too busy with the couple championship. Now the summer is approaching, final year seniors are about to graduate. Xiao and Wei reached the next level, but no match happened because they gave up on their own due to a fight. So, Wei and Xiao automatically qualified for the finals. Later, Wei asked Ling about their fight and learned that Meng and her boyfriend broke up. The breakup was triggered by the same girl who had accused Wei of prey theft. That girl was good at manipulating people and had quite the evil streak. In the semifinals, they performed so well that they practically smashed all the other players. Their mutual understanding and teamwork gave the impression that they were made for each other, like cookies and late-night cravings. Xiao told Wei that he had an important dinner appointment the next night, so he might be a little late. In real life, Jojo was telling her boyfriend Jane that she felt very jealous seeing Wei in the final match. She never liked her, but that day she looked like a Barbie doll who lost her GPS. Jane promised to cheer her up by taking her shopping and buying everything she liked. Later, when internship names were finalized, only Archie got selected. Of course, because Jane thought she was the main character in the game. Still, she felt a little sad for her friends who were not selected. She asked her friends to join her for formal dress shopping. They got very excited about shopping, but Wei said he already had plenty of clothes. In reality, he was short on money, but his friends dragged him along anyway. While returning from shopping, they saw Xiao, who had just returned from a business meeting. All of them got excited, like fans seeing a celebrity, and began following him. Xiao turned and gave them a sweet smile. At that moment, Wei felt like Xiao smiled directly at him. Then, Ling informed them that her boyfriend said Xiao's company was facing financial issues, and this made Wei a little sad. On the way back in the car, Kai joked that nowadays the most beautiful girl in the computer science department was constantly appearing before him. Maybe it was a divine signal from God, just for him. Zhao replied that if it were a signal, it was definitely not for him. While he was joking about such girls, suddenly a truck almost collided with their car. Zhao noticed and tried to control the steering, and everything changed. The final match was scheduled, but there was no sign of Zhao. On the other side, Zhao was shown lying unconscious in the hospital, and his condition had gotten very bad. He was taken to the hospital and Kai was freaking out. He thinks that apparently all of it happened because of him. At the same time, Wei was obsessively checking the time as if her life depended on it, and started wondering why Zhao hadn't shown up yet. Meanwhile, Kai's other friends reached the hospital, realizing something serious was going on, and Kai had gone into full-blown self-blame mode. In the championship, Zhao's absence led to another couple being declared winners, which was like a slap of embarrassment to Wei's face. In real life, Jojo was busy celebrating with her friends, thoroughly convinced Xiao had dumped Wei like a bad date and was now gleefully watching him fail. She proudly announced to her friends that her current boyfriend had just hired Wei like a gig worker earlier that day, claiming he was poor and not even good-looking, and threw insults at him like rice at a wedding. Meanwhile, in the hospital, when the doctors came out, they shared something that made the boys freeze like mannequins, and all of Xiao's friends got suspicious. Kai immediately dropped to the ground, either from the news or dramatic flair. After losing the game, Wei suddenly turned as quiet as a library at midnight, lost deep in thought. She constantly remembered Zhao, since he had nestled into her heart faster than Wi-Fi connects. And the sudden silence from Xiao's side left a gaping hole in his soul. Everywhere she looked, it was just Xiao. She wasn't talking to anyone, wasn't eating properly, and was completely absorbed in her studies the whole time. Later, Zhao regained consciousness in the hospital room, surrounded by friends and family. Kai apologized to Zhao's parents, admitting everything was his mistake, while his parents just forgave him by saying that it's not his fault. After regaining consciousness, Zhao immediately asks his friends for the final match time that day, because he wanted to log in as soon as possible and win the most powerful couple contest with Wei, hoping to impress him. But as soon as he hears what his friends say, he's completely stunned.